All right, but Kawhi Leonard, last night he played. Now this might sound like, okay, what's the big deal? But on the second night of a back-to-back, Rob, Kawhi Leonard actually played 40 minutes. Now that's the first time that Kawhi has played 40 minutes all season. He did it twice last year. Once it was in an overtime game. But he played 40 minutes on the second night of a back-to-back. And remember, this is the first year he's played back-to-backs since 2017.
Right. It's been years, right.
Yes. So what I'm saying is this, and they won, and he was big. He 22 points, 8 boards, 7 dimes, 4 steals.
And
but
they needed it. It was a big comeback.
Big win over Dallas.
Right. They needed it because they were reeling. They had that ugly loss to the Pelicans on Sunday, Chris, so they needed it.
Yep. And he had 9 points in the final 9 minutes. And, he hasn't been good in the clutch this year. And so that was a good sign. What I'm saying, Rob, is I think this is a good sign for Clippers fans. Now, I'm not predicting anything special. I got the Lakers beating them, assuming they're healthy. But this is a sign that Kawhi has the proper attitude adjustment that he needed. Because last year it was all
could it be that he's just healthier and he believes in where he is now? I mean,
I think that's part of it, but I also think he has so much success with, the load management. And again, he didn't start it. Pop started it. Greg Popovich started it, right?
Popovich started it, yeah.
Right. And that's how Kawhi came up, right? So as soon as he's in the league, he's winning wins one championship. He's with one of the top teams in the league, one of the best coaches ever, and they load manage, okay? And so he comes up doing that, and then he gets hurt. He's, clearly leery about his injury. He goes to Toronto, load manages
to win a championship.
Another degree. They win a championship. So next, I can't. It's hard to blame him for last year load managing, thinking, look, this is how I do. It works. You saw last year. Don't
And let's
worry.
be honest, too. I mean, as much as we could rip on last year, and Chris, I said that both him and Paul George, they choked. As much as we rip on them, they were up 3-1 to getting to where they were supposed to go.
Get the
all right?
3-1,
right. They were up 3-1. It wasn't like, they load managed. They weren't together. They got swept by Denver, and it's a total embarrassment. It was bad enough, but you know what I'm saying. They were right where they were supposed to be. Up 3-1. All they had to do was win one more game, and they would have been in the Western Conference Finals for the first time ever as a franchise, and they would have been facing the Lakers, which everybody thought was going to be the matchup.
Right. Now, and I want to hear that sentiment next time we talk Steph. All right? Instead of, hey, blew a 3-1 lead in the finals, first ever. I want to hear that. They were up 3-1. They were where they wanted to be. Steph was great. He got them up 3-1.
No.
Deal?
It never happened before. And I said that Kawhi and Paul George choked, and I'm saying Steph Curry on an all-time winning team, right? They won more games than any other team, Chris, in the history of the NBA. They had not lost more than 2 games in a row all year, and they lost 3 games in a row to lose the championship. First time it ever happened.
Strange circumstances. Strange circumstances.
No.
But anyway, I figured I'd give it a try. The Clippers, Rob, here's the thing, and you remember this. A year ago, I mean, it was getting out of hand. And we all know Kawhi Leonard is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's an all-time great player. But it was getting out of hand. I mean, we were hearing that he when the Clippers win it, he will be one of the top 5 players ever.
If they would have won, it would have been a hard argument, Chris. And I'm just
top 5? Hold on.
No. Okay. But he would have been considered one of the all-time. I mean, to have won back-to-back championships with 2 different teams that had never won. You know what I mean? Like, that puts you on a little plateau. I'm not saying top 5 all time. No.
No way. He would have got love, and I think he would have duly been on. Now, we know LeBron is better historically. But, Kevin Durant, even though he doesn't rank as high as LeBron, you can say what? He's on LeBron's level, right? I mean, LeBron's a higher, but right? He's in that class. Would you agree with that?
He won 2 championships during the LeBron era against LeBron.
And
There's no way you could say he's not on his level.
Right. Yeah, he's in that class. Kawhi would have been in that class. Now, I think right now, Rob, even as Kawhi is, an all-time great, even as, unless I'm missing somebody as small forwards go, you really would only put LeBron, Larry Bird, Durant, and Dr. J ahead of him, right? Who am I missing?
There
Clyde
might be one other person.
I don't know that you put Drexler ahead of him. McGrady, no.
No.
Pippen, I don't put Pippen ahead of him. I wouldn't put Pippen ahead of him. Would you?
No, only because
Pippen couldn't do it on his own team.
Right. The Kawhi got elevated. He got elevated because Toronto couldn't get there, and he got there.
And he lifted him. And so, but my point is this. I think right now, I don't know that he's guaranteed. Like, if he doesn't win another championship, and I know it sounds cruel, but, he's already got 2, so that's good.
Yeah, but
if he doesn't lead, if he doesn't lead them to a championship, the Clippers or someone else, I don't know that you say he's on that level or that
Let me
class
ask you this.
with
Here's
LeBron and KD.
Here's a hypothetical. They beat the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals.
Okay.
And then lose to the Nets. Would he get some juice? Because the Nets have a 3-headed monster, and people at that point, you'd be like, okay, like beating LeBron and Anthony Davis, I'm talking about if they're healthy and they beat them, would that give them a little bit that they got to the finals? They got the Clippers right? Wouldn't that give them something, Chris, even if they lost to Brooklyn?
Absolutely. Okay. Now, it wouldn't give him the ultimate because obviously you got to win it.
I'm just asking.
But it would be an accomplishment. And we, oftentimes, and I think we both, and I think all of us that are commentating, sometimes you fall into it, or people, can accuse you of it because we all talk about rings. And we all talk about that's what you got to get. Right. It would be an accomplishment.
For him to lose to Brooklyn,
it's a nuanced thing, and it would be an achievement. It would be an accomplishment. It wouldn't be the ultimate. So, you.
But also losing to Brooklyn wouldn't be like, oh my God, how did you lose to them? You know what I mean? Like that's the part that I think helps.
Right. No, it would be an accomplishment. Obviously not the ultimate, but yeah, it would be something. And as you said, the Clippers never even been to the conference finals.
No, that's what I mean.
Let alone the NBA finals. But I think, Rob, what I want to see from Kawhi over, it doesn't have to be this year. Obviously Clippers fans are hoping. But in these next few years, when he's with the Clippers, I assume he'll stay there. He has to win with the pressure, Rob, of being expected to win. Because I think there's different levels, He's obviously on an all-time high level, but there's another level beyond where he's at, and that's when everybody's looking at you like you are one of the best 3 players in the world. You are expected. We're expecting you to win a championship, to lead this team to a title, because it was his last 2 titles. They're great. You can't take them away from him, and you never would. But he wasn't in San Antonio. Was a role player. He wasn't the leader of that team. Nothing was expected of him. He just played his role. And then in Toronto, he was viewed as a mercenary 1 year. Nobody expected the Raptors to win it. It was like he was playing with house money. Now he's no longer playing with house money. People are looking at you like, are you going to get it done? And Rob, that's because a different thing.
Yeah, and especially because of what happened last year.
Right.
I mean, he didn't. They didn't lose, and he had like 40 points, and somebody else lost it. He was terrible.
He was involved in that.
Right. He was terrible.
He
was at the scene of the crime. Right.
Absolutely.
He was.
Absolutely. So that's what you're looking for from Kawhi. And I think last night, again, I've got the Lakers beating them if both teams are healthy in the conference finals.
I'm not there
but
yet.
I think that was a good sign for the Clippers fans that he's adjusted his attitude. You still got the Clippers?
Yeah, I'm still gonna go Clippers and Nets. That's gonna be my NBA finals now.
Nets. Whew. Nets.
They keep winning.
I will say this though, I don't think they'd win it as good as they look. I mean, they won 13 out of 14. I think Durant has missed all of those, if not certainly most of them. He's missed all of them.
He's missed not all of them.
He's missed all of the 13 and 1. In their 13 and 1 streak. He's missed all those.
Missed all of those games. I thought he was.
That's what Rob G just whispered in my
Really?
ear.
Okay. Wow.
So, but I still have a hard time thinking they'd win it without Durant, and it's a moot point, I believe, because I think he'll be back. But
right. I got it. All right.